Okay, I think we're live. Okay, so I just did a whole. Am I live? Looks like it's live, but there we go. All right, so I just did a whole 20-minute presentation tutorial for everybody, and I had apparently didn't have my mic on, so that was embarrassing. So today I want to talk about navigate and understand the Bronx Community Board 11 website. So, a lot of time and energy has gone into upgrading Bronx Community Board 11, most particularly its presence online. This tutorial is an attempt to explain, provide insight into the inner workings of Community Board 11 via our official website. So let me share my screen. Still have Edge open? Yeah, I do. So let me just ignore that for right now. Whatever. I seriously, there's a problem when you're here by yourself. So whatever. I'm not dealing with it. Not right now. This is a little bit more important right now. Hopefully, I won't take 20 minutes. It does seem like a long time. So let me share the screen. Microsoft Edge. Yeah, I mean, this is the Community Board website. Let me just close that. So again, you go to nyc.gov/BxCB11. So this is the second iteration of the Community Board website. So I became district manager in 2011, and at that time, our website was bronxmall.com. It's a Con Ed sponsored website. As a board member said in December of last year, it was rudimentary. All right. So NewYorkState.gov website, second iteration. So if you look at the URL at the very top of this page, it's www.1.newyorkstate.gov. That's the second iteration. It used to be just www.3w. And then maybe because of security purposes, it was changed over. But we created this website in 2012. I created this. So I became district manager in 2011, but I didn't really get a chance to create it until 2012. I had a staff member that was out for like 6 months. And then Parati Kemraj came in and she was able to focus in on this. So without her, I don't think I would have been as far along as we got when we got it. So maybe later towards 2012. I think this is maybe summerish. We launched in 2012, and yeah, I definitely probably wouldn't have been able to get where I got without Roddy being able to focus in on it. So she used to be a staff member here. And with her, we had people like Raphael Schweitzer, Omesh Prasad, people like that helped. They took, one of them took this photo here. I think it was Omesh that took this photo here at Pelham Parkway, the glass here. Let's see, my other photos. This photo I think I personally took of the 49th precinct. This Pelham Parkway photo, if it was Omesh, maybe it's Raphael. Einstein, I got this from Einstein, this picture here. This is Einstein Medical Center. Really high quality, good picture. New York Public Library, I think I personally took that picture. Whatever. So a lot of people helped us over the years with this. And one of the person that helped me too as well, worth mentioning that we'll talk about later, is Harry Lasky, community coordinator here. Chris Kirk helps me update it every day. Not every day, but when I need it update, I usually rely on Chris for the updates. But let's go into navigating the site, what it actually means. And what, at least the small section I want to focus in on today, because there's a lot of sections, there's a lot of information on this site. Maybe too much information. A lot of people like the transparency, so to speak, but it's not perfect. So if we click on about, which is what I just did, you get these 4 subheaders, and we're going to click on board members because, hey, who's on Community Board 11? I mean, maybe you don't care, but maybe you do. We did have a very, very contentious public hearing in February. And I remember members of the public literally said, who are you to make these decisions on our behalf? Well, if you really want to know who these people are, here you go. Go to the Community Board 11 website and look at their bios. Because when you go to this list of membership, all these hyperlinked names, Albert D'Angelo. You can see his nickname's Al. He was born in the Bronx. He went to Iona College. There's no picture there, but if we look at Oral Selkridge, and we can see his beautiful locks on top of his head, and you can see, more importantly, maybe why he doesn't have those locks, because it helps him run. Because he's a runner, he ran in the Olympics, he helped his sister train for the national junior team, and you got a picture there, you know what he looks like, right? Are all these people old? Are they white, black, all men? Whatever floats your boat. You look at the website. Darrell. There you go. Look at that suit, right? Photo taken by another board member. Well, at the time, a board member. He also has no hair on top of his head. Let's try to find somebody that does. Bernadette Ferrara. Yep, that looks like hair. And I think that is courtesy of her. But you can figure out who these people are, right? I think knowledge is power. Education is key, vital to a lot of things. Not everything. Community boards are advisory boards, but we do have a significant role in assisting the community. And we have up to 40 members currently. And if you click on these other tabs at the bottom of this page, you'll see by committee, by demographics and appointment info, staff, office location history. But you can see also here, there's some people that aren't hyperlinked. They do not have bios. They definitely like more bios than some of these people, but it is voluntary. All community board members are volunteers. They do not get paid to be board members. They are volunteers, whereas someone like me, I'm paid staff. So I cannot require them to have bios. I push, I cajole, I twist arms as much as possible. I try to convince, but it doesn't always work. And one day we'll get bios for all the members, hopefully. But I think, right now it looks like we have a majority of the board members have bios, which is a dramatic difference from the very first bio I created was in 2012. And unfortunately, it was first used for an obituary. So, which is important, right? Keep this in mind. I think, and I've made this recommendation to everybody, whether you're a board member or not, you should have a bio on yourself, right? If you care about your family, if you care about yourself, I guess, and how you are portrayed, a bio is a good first step. Is a good way to help. I study genealogy. I've looked at multiple obituaries that are just god awful terrible. Like, this isn't even right. Like, or who the hell are these people? So if you want to make sure when you die that your obituary is as best as possible, create a bio. Okay. And if you're a Community Board 11 member, we'll put it up on the Community Board 11 website. But you won't just put it up without a little inspection back and forth and editing, because whatever board members give me or whatever we help them type, it goes through multiple drafts before it gets published. Or ideally, it gets through multiple drafts. But if you ever see anything wrong with any of these bios, please let us know. And for the people who don't have bios, we do have, when they became a board member, we do have, if you click on this middle tab here with appointment info. This is in response to a publication by the Borough President's Office. And this is a current viewing of board members and who they've been appointed by. So, for example, Al is a Borough President appointment, Hazel Muro is the Council Member Feliz appointment, and so forth. So, if you look at like Ken Galnick, for example, if you see, you don't see a bio, but you want to see who he's appointed by, it's here. And more importantly, if you look at this very last sentence at the top, the years our board members were first appointed to CB11 can be found on our board member staff and office location history page. If you click here, if you have a board member that just stepped down, for example, like Edith Blitzer, you still have her bio. And this is where all the bios are retained, so we don't lose any of this information. It's on this history page from 1974 to present. Community boards have been in existence since, I think, starting in Manhattan in the 60s. I don't think they're formalized in the city charter until maybe 1975. Our first district manager, Tom Brown, was hired in 1977. But there's a history here that I want people to understand, value, and respect. And if you look at, again, Ken Galnick doesn't have a bio on. I mean, he's not required to have a bio, but you can see he's been on the community board since 1984. Right? So he does know a thing or two. And if you scroll up to the very back top of this page, so you can see who the officers are and were, 1975 to present, who the committee chairs are and were from 1980 to present. I started doing that last year. Who the board members are and were, 74, we just discussed, in staff, for example. Staff 77 to present. You can see again, I referenced Tom Brown, our first district manager, was first district manager in 1977. It's basically 10 years, maybe 11 years. And I have too soon. Community coordinator Harriet Lasky, Chris Kirka. Oh, Harriet's only been a community coordinator since 2012. I thought she's been here much longer than that. Yes, she has. If you scroll past all the present or more recent staff members, you can go down to the very bottom before you get to office locations. You can see Stella Cap, Harriet Lasky, March 21st, 1980 to 1985. Okay, she was an office aide. And then if you look up above that, she was an office associate, 85 to 91, so forth. So she's been with Community 11 since 1980. And as I always tell people, she's my right hand, Chris is my left. Chris also has a history to him. He's listed on the interns volunteers. He started off volunteering here, and before we hired him, but he also used to work for the borough president. It's not his bio, but I think there's a news article on that if you're really, really interested. Just Google them. So bios, getting it right, setting your story out there, having a photo. I mean, a lot of people don't care about community boards. They don't know about community boards. I didn't know about community board before I started working for a council member. Chris Kirka said he didn't know about community board until he started working for Freddie Ferrer, the borough president. A lot of people don't know what these are. They don't know what they're getting into. But at some point they come across it. You want to know more? Here it is. And bios for everybody. I think I've said all I want to in this video for today. There's much more to navigate with this CB11 website, but I want to start here with, I think, some building blocks. Some good building blocks, right? So unless, so there should be no questions because I'm live streaming. This is a live stream test. This is the second video I'm doing just to make sure I got it right. Again, the video I did right before this, same basically speech, with the exception of the 49th precinct that talked about Dominic's story. We used his obit for, his bio for an obit, but long story short, this is a test and a tutorial, trying to two birds with one stone. Hopefully it works out.